The Chile Antofagasta mission, I feel like is unique because the mission is really long. Chile's just real long in general, and it's about the top third of the country. And so from the top city, Arica, to Vallenar, it's about 22 to 24 hours on a bus. And let me tell you, there is not a single change in scenery in those 22 hours. My longest bus ride I ever took was 18 hours, so that's pretty normal. Almost every missionary has that. But I think it's unique in the fact that most cities in the United States, it's, you know, there's one city and that just like merges into the next city, and that merges into the next city. But the mission is not like that. You have a city, and you can stand on top of a mountain and look at the city and just see the exact moment where the city ends. Like, and then after that, it's just pure desert for hours and hours. And so, and just between the two cities, there's nothing. There's no trees, there's no houses, nobody lives there. And so it's just really interesting that way, because the cities are really spread apart and there's just nothing in between them. And so that's the geography, I guess, of the mission. It's a desert, so it's hot. It gets cold because it's on the coast, but it's hot most of the time. There's two types of cities. So there's the cities on the coast, and then there's inland cities, and that's like Calama and Copiapó. And those two cities get really cold at night and really hot during the day. And so your skin gets really dry, and your hair starts to break and to fall apart. And I've heard stories about people being in the inland cities during the winter, and their lips crack and everything because it's just so dry. The whole mission is dry. It never rains. I felt rain once, but most missionaries don't feel rain. So it's real fun. Most of the cities are on the coast, and so you've got the coast, and then you've got the Andes Mountains. So a lot of the areas are, you know, you're just walking straight uphill all day. So you might lose weight. You would if it weren't for the bread. So the nearest temple is pretty far away. It's really hard for Chileans to be able to go more than once every couple years, if that. And that's if they put a really big priority on it. The nearest one for most of them would be Santiago, and that's probably a 2-day journey. In the north of the mission, they have Cochabamba in Bolivia that's close. So a lot of them will go there. It's about 12 hours, but it's a huge altitude change, so they all get sick. And they all promise themselves they'll never go to Cochabamba again, and then they go the next year. But we're lucky in the fact that there's going to be a new temple at some point in Peru, and that'll be closer for a lot of the members. The church, as far as the church goes, it's struggling in the northern part of Chile, just mostly because of the mining culture. But something that was really interesting for me when I went there is almost every single ward has their own building. So that's kind of cool because it's usually in the middle of your area, and so it's really easy to take investigators to church. But it's hard for the members to clean it every week. But there's probably about, I used to know this, there's probably about 8 stakes in the mission, maybe a few more or less, and there's two or three districts. And so it's growing. It's growing slowly but surely, and those are big goals of the mission right now, is to double the attendance and double the temple recommends, and to get the members of northern Chile just really focused on the temple.